yourself with your arm raised.
Is this the dagger?
I just wanted to put it up in the air and got the shooter's bounce.
This is how it feels to stand on the clouds.
I know I am the ultimate prisoner of the moment, but that is genuinely one of the great shots and dramatic moments that we've seen in the NBA in a really long time. Bruce Bowen with me this morning, and the great Stephen A. Smith has made his way back from all of his travels around the postseason, and he's with us as well. And I want to get to all the coaching news and whatnot, but let's just get a quick thought from you on that. That shot, Kawhi Leonard, to end a series, the series that he had.
Tremendous shot, believe it or not, from a shooting percentage perspective, it was his worst game of the series. He only shot 41% from the field. He shot 39 times, okay? But it speaks to his greatness because not only do you know what he does on both ends of the floor, but it was game 7, and he says, I'm trying to take this. And he kept going, and he kept going, and he kept going. Now, obviously, you can't compare him to a Ben Simmons who doesn't have a perimeter shot or whatever, but the former #1 overall pick in the NBA draft took 5 shots the entire game. See the difference? At some point in time, you got to look at guys, and again, I'm not comparing the two, but whether it's James Harden, whether it's a Kawhi Leonard, any kind of star, you have to go down swinging. And that's what Kawhi Leonard almost did yesterday, except he won the game. He didn't go down.
No, and you saw how he took over when they couldn't buy a basket. He was the one that was dependable and the only one willing to take that shot.
That's right.
It's not just about him making a shot. It's about him saying, you know what, give me the ball.
Yes.
I want it to be
other guys did look scared. Like
there were certain cats
on Toronto didn't want any part of that moment. But
that happens in those types of moments, Stephen. And that's why I talked about in the inbounds play. You go ahead and cheat towards Kawhi, Tobias Harris. Don't worry about Marc Gasol coming in, getting the ball back and shooting a shot. No, but it goes to show you what he was able to do throughout this series, not just scoring, but making other guys better and comparable. You had Kyrie Lowry back at home, was playing a different way.
We got it.
Okay.
And listen, and as far as Kawhi is concerned, only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan ever scored more points in a postseason series than Kawhi just did here. So we have that, and we move forward. They'll play Milwaukee starting on Wednesday. The West starts tomorrow, and the other teams are all figuring out their futures, including the Lakers. We've had a lot of conversation about it here this morning. They hired Frank Vogel over the weekend. They add Jason Kidd to his staff. What do you think of the mix?
Well, I was all over SportsCenter when it happened. Here's the bottom line. They want Jason Kidd to be the head coach. Frank Vogel's days are numbered before they even begin. He won't last more than 2 years in L.A., and that's pushing it, okay? And that's not to disrespect Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel obviously had success in Indiana, going to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. His time in Orlando was not as impressive. He's got a third shot at the apple here. He was willing to take $1 million less per year than Ty Lue. So obviously that's $3 million that you save if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. He was also willing to accept their conditions where they insist on formulating his staff, mainly having Jason Kidd as their developmental coach. And people are missing why they're looking at Jason Kidd that way. Jason Kidd was there when the Greek Freak was there. When Jason Kidd was let go, the Greek Freak swore by him. He was very, very upset that they had let go of Jason Kidd. You look at some of the other players like Middleton and others that had been there. Jason Kidd was the guy and his staff, Gugarich and those guys, that were really tutoring these guys and, bringing them along. So Jason Kidd and his staff are highly respected as it pertains to developing talent. So when you look at the Kyle Kuzmas, the Brandon Ingrams of the world and others, the Lakers are looking for a developmental role that a coach is going to play. You couldn't hire Jason Kidd in their eyes because the optics didn't look good. DUI charge, domestic violence allegations, having a reputation that's trying to usurp the authorities of people in Brooklyn and Milwaukee, which is what ultimately led to his exodus from there. The manner in which he departed Brooklyn quickly to get to Milwaukee. All of those things are held against him. So from an optics perspective, they didn't feel they could pull off hiring Jason Kidd as your head coach, which is why they insisted to Monty Williams when they offered him the 3-year deal instead of 5. Take Jason Kidd. They insisted to Ty Lue, take Jason Kidd, even though he had been in 3 finals and won a championship. And even though we might all, have a bit of a problem with it, because especially in the case of Ty Lue, there's no reason why he shouldn't have been offered a 3-year deal as opposed to a 5-year deal. And you don't tell a coach who's won a title that you pick his staff. In the end, it's clear. The guy they really wanted in all of this, you got Monty Williams on the list, Ty Lue, Mike Woodson was going to be interviewed, Lionel Hollins was going to be interviewed, okay? The list of J.B. Bickerstaff was going to be was interviewed. All of these names, the bottom line is the one person that they wanted was Jason Kidd. They just couldn't get away with hiring him as the head coach right now. He will be the head coach in LA in a couple of years. Frank Vogel, as I told them on SportsCenter the other day, when they said, well, Stephen A., how do you sell this? I said, it's very, very simple. You're Frank Vogel. Excuse me. You think that showing up on Get Up is going to get you $5 million a year? I don't think so. I've never seen a guest in ESPN's history that gets $5 million a year. So you're going to take that job because nobody was knocking on his door to give him a job. This is better than unemployment. It's 5 years. You're living in Southern California. At the very least, you're going to pocket $10 to $15 million. Frank Vogel he's going to be all right. Okay? Jason Kidd is going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. It's just a process that's taking place before it happens.
Okay, and with all of that, but then let us get then to LeBron James, who knows more about basketball than probably any of the people that we're talking about. So he knows all the things you know. So how does that then play itself out? What happens between now and the time that Jason Kidd becomes the head coach? Because by then, LeBron James will be 36 years old.
He'll meet with them and talk to them at his discretion, as he always does with new coaches. When he wants to talk to them, he does. When he doesn't want to talk to them, he'll avoid them until he's getting ready to talk to them. At the end of the day, he's going to show up in the purple and gold. He's going to average 27 a game. He's going to go out on the court. He's going to turn you into a playoff contender, because I believe they would have made the playoffs if he had not gotten hurt, and they could have been to the conference finals had he never gotten hurt and missed those 17 consecutive games. But in the end, make no mistake about it, LeBron James ain't there for basketball. LeBron James is in LA for different interests. Now, he can cite, everybody can explain it any old way they want to. Any place else, he could have signed a 2-year deal with a 1-year opt-out with the Los Angeles Lakers. He could have done that. But guess what? He signed on for 3-4 years with an option after a 3rd year. Why? Because he made it very, very clear he's going to LA for more than just basketball. He's trying to build his business empire out there. That's his objective for being out there to begin with. So no matter who the coach is, LeBron James' intent is to be in Los Angeles, California, to handle business outside of basketball. Once he gets on the basketball court, he'll never cheat us. He'll always give us what he has. But he's not in L.A. just for basketball. If it was just about basketball, he'd have never left Cleveland.
You agree with? I mean, what do you think happens with LeBron here?
Well, I think he stays, obviously, but at the same time, it's about looking beyond basketball, and that's what he's done. And as you stated, Stephen A., he is an incredible talent.
I was just watching. Jalen's talking about him demanding a trade, right? I mean, talking about if he doesn't get the coach he wants.
No. Let's quote Jalen Rose accurately. Yeah. Jalen Rose said the same thing myself, and even Max Kellerman said. He said, quote, he should ask for a trade. In other words, we don't know. We don't believe that's what LeBron James would do. Matter of fact, I'm told it's not what he will do. I'm certainly told that he would not trade. The Lakers will not trade him either, even though there's been people in Hollywood, not basketball people, but people in Hollywood and Jeannie Buss is there telling them, get rid of him, trade him, just rebuild because y'all ain't going anywhere anyway. But again, he doesn't have a no trade clause, so you could conceivably move him. That's not something they're going to do. It's not something he's thinking about doing. We're just saying, if you're trying to win, considering how haphazard this situation is, and you don't have the coach that you wanted, it might be in your best interest to leave. But what people are not thinking about is LeBron has this mentality. Ty Lue's my man. He got the interview. They were going to make him an offer. And even though it's not ideal that they gave you 3 years, the bottom line is I'm here for 3 years. So we win, you get the extension. What's the problem? But in the end, you don't ask a championship coach to pick his staff for him. And that's what the Lakers were doing.
And very quickly, because I have to let Steve go, First Take starts in 7.5 minutes.
Yes.
John Beilein is the new head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Big breaking news on the show this morning. What's your reaction?
So what? Could y'all take him off the air? Put me on camera, please. Put me on camera for a second. I mean, really. Why are we acting like this is a big... Oh, John, I know he coached them to a national championship game. I get it.
Yeah.
He won a national championship, but I know he coached them to a national championship game, coached them Final Four. I think he's a very good coach. Why do I give a damn who the next head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers is going to be? I applaud Woj himself, the one and only Adrian Wojnarowski, for breaking the story. Of course, it's news for SportsCenter. But Get Up, I mean, sure. I think it should have been, sorry for me to be a producer on this show for a moment, but I think it should have been one of those situations. John Beilein is the next head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we move on. What is it about Cleveland that is interesting right now? LeBron's not there any longer. Why do I care who the coach of the Cleveland, other than the news.
Say something.
What does it matter?
Something.
I think he's
to him.
right.
Does it
What
matter?
am I supposed to say?
You didn't act that way.
I'm just
more
saying,
interested in the Michigan side
you
of
don't
it
have
than
to
I
look
am.
at Greeny like that and act
Hey,
like I'm.
look
You
here.
know I'm right.
Hey,
the fact is, what's the big deal? Is it a big deal to you? That seriously speaking,
It's news.
I know.
He's doing his job, and now you come here
No.
talking about he shouldn't have been all excited
I'm
about
only
it.
saying.
No,
I'm only saying.
Let me do something, Stephen A. Let me do something.
My job right now is to get Stephen A. across the hall.
Been
I'm
over
being
2 hours.
screamed at. First Take starts in 6 minutes. Stephen A.,
Why
thank
Bruce
you
Bowen
very much.
looking at me
Welcome
like
back.
that with his
Tomorrow night,
North Carolina blue
huge
suit on?
night on ESPN. You see the rundown there. It'll be NBA countdown leading into the jump, leading into the lottery, leading into game one of the Western Conference.
I'm so
Finals.
excited. The new coach of the Cavs is. I mean, please, really? Really? That's what? Really? That's news. Okay. Announce it.
Defend yourself.
He's right.